Hello, everyone. My name is Carolyn Savage, and I'm a respiratory therapist with ConnectWell Lung Health and Rehab Program. This is the second part of our four-part series relating to asthma, and today we'll talk about asthma triggers. So what is an asthma trigger? When we think about asthma, it is something that is very important to help keep asthma well controlled, asthma symptoms well controlled. So just to review that asthma is swelling inside the airways that comes and goes. And the things that cause that swelling to happen is something that we call a trigger. So these are things that can irritate your airways, cause breathing symptoms, and certainly worsen the swelling and the muscle tightening that's happening within your lungs. Everybody with asthma has different triggers, and knowing what your triggers are is very important so that hopefully you can manage those triggers, minimize exposure to those triggers in order to help keep your asthma symptoms in good control, to help minimize that swelling in the airways, and also to help your medication work best. So the most common asthma triggers can loosely be divided into allergic asthma triggers or non-allergic triggers. The most common allergic triggers can include dust, molds, tree pollens, animals, animal dander, food sensitivities, among others. The most common non-allergic triggers can be exercise, weather changes, cold weather, hot, humid weather in the summer, chemicals, including scents, cleaners, perfumes. In some people, intense emotions can be a trigger to cause asthma to symptoms to worsen and flare up. And of course, chest infections or colds and flus can also irritate the breathing tubes and result in asthma swelling. In terms of indoor triggers and how to manage them, the most common indoor asthma triggers can include mold, so damp basements, for example, or water damage that may have happened in the home, dust mites, pets, scents, and smoking or secondhand smoke. So considering these triggers, we know that they can be managed in different ways. For example, some people add a dehumidifier to the basement to really keep that humidity level down, regular changes of furnace filters, air conditioning filters helps a great deal. Removing carpets if you're able to, because carpets really hold that dust and dander that happens in the home and smoke fumes. New carpets themselves can also have some chemical off-gassing that can happen and can certainly be irritating to some people with asthma. Ideally for children, not keeping a lot of stuffed animals in the bed, adding a mattress cover, pillowcase cover to really keep those dust mites down, making sure your home is smoke-free and stays smoke-free. And certainly keeping the pets out of the bedroom, off the furniture helps a great deal when we talk about and think about exposure to those types of triggers. For outdoor triggers, again, there's sometimes not a lot we can do about those exposures. We want people to enjoy the outdoors, but along with that often comes those big weather changes, pollens, air pollution, especially in the hot, humid summer weather, and different things such as molds and pollens within our garden. So when we think about managing those triggers, it's really planning your activities to avoid the hottest parts of the day. In the cold weather, adding a scarf over your mouth and nose so that breathing in that cold weather doesn't go directly to your lungs, and you're providing a bit of a buffer for that. Checking the pollen counts helps a lot. And some people do even wear a mask when they're gardening to minimize some of the pollens and molds that can be stirred up and breathed in with that activity. So really protecting your airways as best you can. The Environment Canada, Health Canada has created an air quality health index, which is something that gives health recommendations for people who are at high risk, so people who have asthma and may be impacted by that poor outdoor air quality. And this can be found online, where certainly health messages are given to help people know if the outdoor air pollution is going to be high, what is recommended to keep breathing safe, and also able to hopefully help you plan your activities in advance. It does give a bit of information a couple of days in advance, so you can kind of plan your activities when the air pollution may be less, or certainly at a different time of day. Workplace triggers are a big one for lots of people who have breathing concerns. Workplace asthma or occupational asthma can worsen asthma or develop asthma, those sensitive airways in some people. It's an estimated that 10% of adults who have asthma have developed it from the workplace. And determining whether your asthma is from your work exposures or not is really quite um, a bit of a long process. It does involve linking with a respirologist, doing different types of breathing assessments while you're at work, outside of work, to really see if there's a pattern there that the workplace causes the airways to react, and that those hypersensitive moments with lots of breathing symptoms. If you feel that your workplace irritates your asthma and your breathing, please do talk with your healthcare provider to learn more about next steps. And asthma and exercise is often closely linked. Exercise-induced asthma is something that where people notice their asthma and breathing worsening with exercise. So a cough, for example, shortness of breath can happen during the exercise, or in some cases happen after the exercise is finished. And often what happens there is with exercise, we're breathing faster, often with our mouth open, so that the air is much drier as opposed to breathing through our nose. So that faster breathing and drier air being breathed in can often cause some swelling in the airways, especially for those who have asthma and those hypersensitive airways. A way to manage this is really planning your exercise at a time of day where, again, it's not those extreme temperatures or high pollen counts, making sure you have a good warm up and a cool down. So you're going to tell your body that you're about to exercise, get ready, and it does help minimize that sudden start and stop to the exercise that the lungs could feel. And certainly, we encourage regular exercise routines, even for people who have asthma. So, the more regular and consistent you are with exercise, the better the body will feel. And then at the same time, hopefully, not having those big asthma or breathing flare ups that can happen with only exercising now and then. Thank you for joining us for this module. The next module includes talking about asthma treatments. We hope you can join us.